Hello everyone, my name is Bisola Wutsunde and I am from the beautiful country of Nigeria. Today I'll be doing a video targeted towards international students mostly, or anyone who's thinking of studying here in the US and studying medicine in particular. So yeah, let's jump right into it. So to be a doctor in the United States, you have to go through 4 years of undergrad, basically get a bachelor's degree, and then from there you apply to medical school, which is another 4 years. And after those 4 years in medical school, you do your residency. Residency is at least 3 years depending on what field you want to go into. So yeah, today I'll be talking mostly about undergrad and how to basically enhance your application and how to be a good applicant to medical school. It is difficult to get into medical school, but it's not impossible. So I hope today's video helps you, maybe as a freshman or as a sophomore, or maybe as a high school graduate, to decide what you need to do and just to let you know what to factor in while you're going through your undergrad journey. If you don't know anything, don't worry. I didn't know anything at all when I first came here either, and so it's okay. I'll walk you through just the basics today. So yeah, if you're an undergrad, I would advise to get a science major, mostly because you get to do your prerequisites. So when you go into medical school, some schools require some classes: basic biology, basic biochemistry, physics, chemistry, organic chemistry, and so I would advise to do something that already knocks out most of your prereqs, so you don't have to do like an extra year or do like a post-bac program if you're trying to just get through it, But yeah, so if you don't have to major in science. That's one good thing about the US. You don't have to major in science. If you want to do something else, you can always do something else. But I will also advise, if you're doing a degree maybe in public health or maybe in psychology or sociology, I would advise to get a minor maybe in bio mostly, so you can kind of knock out your prereqs. Make sure you're taking advantage of like undergrad and just taking classes that geared towards medical school too. Let's talk about your resume, or basically experiences. So in the United States, I know it's very different from my country. In my country, you just need to go to school. You don't really need to work or build a resume while in school. So it's a little different. For me, it was kind of difficult, to balance school with work or school with volunteering and just school with anything. But at least now that you're watching this video, I hope you'll be able to incorporate that. So for a resume, you basically need to volunteer at the hospital. Maybe I think most people would advise you to do 150 hours, just an average of volunteering in general. At least that will help you. And I'm saying 150 hours for basically 4 years also. Yeah. So for volunteering, please find a hospital around your school. There's always somewhere close by that you can go to, or you can find somewhere over the summer that you can basically just go over there, maybe shadow a doctor. I know sometimes it might seem a little intimidating to find a doctor, especially if you're not from here. Just email someone. I know the way I shadowed my doctor, there was a doctor who came to talk at an event. It was a PreMed organization, and he came to talk, and so I walked up to him, emailed him, and asked him if it was okay for me to shadow him, and he was like yes. I was like sweet. But yeah, so shadow a doctor. I think it helps you just broaden your knowledge. Also, you never know, you can need a recommendation letter, and that could come in handy. So yeah, recommendation letters. Now that I'm on it, for recommendation letters, I would advise you, please be friendly with your professors. I promise you, they don't bite. Most of them actually want to talk to students, especially if you pick an interest in their research. Go to them and talk to them about their research. Talk to them about your grades and just how you can improve in their class, and just so that they can know you. Some classes are like 200 people in a class. How are you supposed to get a recommendation letter if your professor doesn't really know you? I know in freshman year I used to go just a little bit early to chat with my professor, and that really helped me out a lot. You would need a recommendation letter for most of the things. If you're trying to apply for a job, on-campus job, if you're trying to apply for some leadership position on campus, if you're trying to apply for just a lot of things, you need a recommendation letter. So while you're going to class, have that in mind. Know the professor that you think will write your recommendation letter, go to them and talk to them. I know for me, one of my professors, he said he didn't know me enough to recommend me for medical school, and I went to class I didn't miss class, and attendance wasn't even mandatory, and I sat in front of the class, I discussed my grades and everything, but he just said, he only writes recommendation letter for people who do research with him, so that's another thing. Now, the topic of research. With research, I would advise you to basically look on your school website. Most of the time they post research opportunities. I know for U of H, where I went, go Cougs, we have an undergraduate research page on Facebook that you can like, and you can turn on the notifications for them so that when they post stuff, you'll be aware that there's an opportunity and that you can apply to it. You can also look in your science classes, your professors, you can look at their different pages and just see what they're involved with, what research they're involved with. And I know the way I got my research opportunity in undergrad, I walked up to my professor, my genetics professor, and I asked her if she was doing anything, research, and if I could volunteer in her lab. And luckily she said yes, I had. You should also look for summer research programs outside of your school. I think it's fun because you get to travel to somewhere else. I was going to apply to one, but I think I had to take classes that summer, so I couldn't. So look and see what they're offering, what kind of stipend they're giving, if you're going to be able to sustain yourself while you're doing that research. I think it's going to be a very good opportunity. And yeah, something else that also helps with your application, I would think, would be traveling abroad and maybe volunteering abroad. For me, I went to Haiti, I think my junior year, and it was an amazing experience because it just really broadened just my perspective on life in general, and I was able to see other doctors just come in and help with the orphanage where we were helping with. Went on a mission trip, so it wasn't really medical related, but I put it on my resume because it was something I did. It was a volunteer experience. I volunteered my time. I didn't get paid for it. So yeah, that's something else. Also, when it comes to leadership positions, if you're in an organization, it would be nice to be a leader. It shows your abilities to be able to lead a certain group of people. It shows that you're serious. It shows that you're responsible, and you can be responsible for just tasks that are placed in your hands. I know for me, I think for my leadership experience, I was an RA for 3 years, residential assistant. Basically what we did was there was one on each floor, and you would basically just look over everybody else on your floor, and you work with your fellow RAs to basically just create a better environment in the dorms. And if that's your kind of thing, you should do it. I loved my years as an RA. It was absolutely amazing because number one, it helped me know the culture better, because coming from a different country to a place where everybody else is kind of different from the way you were raised, it was really great because I got to hang out with people of very different culture, different orientation, just different mindset and mentality, and it was great. My thinking and horizon was broadened, and I'm very grateful for that experience. Also, while I was doing it, I was able to knock out housing and food for those 3 years, so it's a great opportunity, and it helps you financially, and also resume wise it was great. Also, your supervisor can end up giving you a recommendation letter too. So yeah, I think that's basically a broad overview of what you need to know. Also, last but not the least, actually, JK, the MCAT. That's an exam you have to take to be able to get into medical school. So the MCAT is basically an exam accumulation of all you've learned in undergraduate, and it's on one single test. Now it's about 7 hours. I would say about 7 hours in total for the test, including breaks, and I think it's 4 sections now. Yeah, 4 sections. So the first section is your physical section, which is chemistry and physics. So basically physics 1, physics 2, chem 1 and 2 all combined together in the section. And then the second section is the life sciences section, biology section. It's basically biology with biochem and some organic chemistry. So just know, as you're going through your undergrad, be thinking about those classes and take them, so you can just kind of be ready for the MCAT, I guess. And also the third section is the verbal section. The verbal section is basically English, or let's say passages with critical thinking. So it's just not passages, just I hit a verbal section. Okay, I'll stop. It's basically just a thinking and just how you analyze situations and how you analyze a passage and how you can comprehend, you know, what's being told. And so that's the second, was what you're being told. That's the third section. The fourth section is the psychology and sociology section, which was recently added. They added that last year. And so please take a psychology or sociology class in college. It may help. So yeah, that's the broad overview of your life in undergrad. Please try to have fun your first year. It's time to get to know the environment if you're an international student. Time to kind of mix and mingle with people from like different nationalities. If you live in a dorm, hopefully you get someone that that's not from the same country as you, so you can learn more. Yeah, I think that's gonna be it today. If you have any questions or any comments, please let me know below in the comment section, and I will see you next time. Like I said, my name is Bisola Wotunde, and this is my channel, Just a Baby Girl. And yeah.